You're listening to Equality Radio.
Equality Radio.
Fabulous.
Now, here's your host, Randall White.
Randall White on Q Talk America.
That's right. Taking your calls, 424-272-6365. That's the number to call to get in touch with us right here on Equality Radio. Another way to remember it is 4242 Randall with an O-L. Randall, not Randall. Don't be shy. We do want to hear from you. Hey, I don't know if you heard this or not, but there is now a third Republican senator who backs gay marriage. That's right. U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, putting it right there on her U.S. Senate page. The 56-year-old says she was swayed in part by meeting a lesbian couple from Anchorage, one of whom was in the National Guard, who had adopted 4 children. And a direct quote, this first-class Alaskan family still lives a second-class existence. Hello? That's what we've been talking about for a really long time. But it's really nice to have you on board, Senator Murkowski of Alaska. So let's see. Now she joins Rob Portman of Ohio and also Mark Kirk of Illinois. So that makes 3. But at a time not that long ago where even one would have been a big deal, the Democrats, of course, for a while there were falling over themselves to become part of this. But the Republicans, hey, we're getting them on board. We've got 3 now. And so if I had a hat on right now, I would say hats off to you, U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski. All right, welcome everyone to the Equality Radio Show here. I almost said the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. That's something I do on Sundays, but, it becomes habit after a while, and it almost came out. It is the Wednesday edition here. Let's see, 8 minutes past the hour right now, 3:08 on the West Coast, 6:08 Eastern. On this 19th day of June 2013, I am your host, Randall White, coming to you live each and every weekday here on Q Talk. And if you tuned in just before the show, you heard our promo for the big SCOTUS Day. The SCOTUS, of course, Supreme Court of the United States, will be handing down 2 major marriage equality decisions. One affecting DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act. The other, Prop 8, which is the law of the land right here in California where we broadcast the show. My husband and I got in right under the wire 4 days before voters here decided to go ahead and pass Prop 8. Polls since Prop 8, though, show Californians wouldn't pass it today, and we're hoping that the Supreme Court, however they rule, there's many different ways they could, but however they rule, that marriage here in California, at least, will come back to marriage rights for same-sex couples will come back into being. Our marriage is still considered a marriage by the state of California. Just no one else can get married, which is BS, as we all know. We are currently in the midst of booking for the Supreme Court show, the expanded Supreme Court show that we will do. And just signing on today, as a matter of fact, Jesse Melgar, he's the communications director for Equality California, one of the big organization here in California that fought Prop 8 and has followed it all the way to the Supreme Court. So Jesse will be joining us. He said no matter what day it happens and what time we need him, he'll be here on Equality Radio to give us the Equality California perspective on this. And it could be tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Tomorrow, Thursday, June 20th, is the next scheduled day that the justices for the U.S. Supreme Court will hand down decisions. Whether they'll be the 2 that are on the forefront of all of your minds and mine, that remains to be seen. They just don't let you know until 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. So what we've gone and done is I'm just scheduling a 4-hour block of time that Equality Radio will air. It'll be noon to 4 Pacific. So if you live in the Eastern time zone, we never talk about Mountain or Central, but it's easy math. And so what would that be? Easy math, right, for me? 3 to 7 on the East Coast. 4 solid hours of talking about the decisions. We don't know what they'll be yet, so it's a big deal. Dennis Dyson, also the Chief Marketing Officer for the Victory Fund. It looks like he might be able to join us. We already have a couple of great guests scheduled for tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Josh Stein from Stein Family Wines. They have a wine called Same Sex Meritage. Love the name. It's a winery based here in California. Josh said he'd be happy to come on to give us that perspective. Ed Salvato, if you heard him on Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday on our Travel Tuesday show. Ed can really give us the global and travel perspective and what people around the world, especially in countries where they've had marriage equality for some time now, what they might think about what the Supreme Court hands down. And then Kathy Young, you hear her here on Q Talk America all the time. They have their show called The Agenda, which is a fantastic show, really, really good. Speaking about politics, Kathy works with the Human Rights Campaign, HRC, there in Arizona, and she'll be joining us for a big chunk of time. That should be really, she's so well informed, so it'll be great to have her on. Just a laundry list of people that'll be joining us, so make sure when you wake up and read the paper or listen on the radio here on Equality Radio, and find out that the Supreme Court has made its decision, you know where to turn, and let your friends and family know that they can listen here as well. All right, coming up next on the show with the League of United Latin American Citizens, LULAC is the acronym. There's a study that the organization has a new survey that has been done in conjunction with HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, on growing up LGBT in America, and specifically in this case within Latin American communities. Some interesting stuff out of this study. One of them shows, if I can find it here without taking up too much time, is that LGBT Latino youths are nearly as optimistic as their non-LGBT Latino peers about future life achievements. So a smiley face, right? That's good. We like to hear that. However, they feel much less hopeful than those same peers about meeting those goals if they remain in their current communities. My husband's Latino, and his family lives down in Los Angeles, and I'm so happy to say that we are welcomed with open arms in that very large extended family. There are some times that it gets a little bit, I think we're a little nebulous about who we are as a couple, which that doesn't float on my boat, but when I'm in their territory, I let Ricardo, my husband, do it how he sees fit. Most everyone knows that we're married. All right, 3:14, 14 minutes past the hour, and we'll be back to learn a lot more about this study coming up. Then at the bottom of the hour, it's our weekly Wednesday Greg in Hollywood segment that goes the entire half hour. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're listening to Equality Radio. I'm your host, Randall White.
Equality Radio.
Join the conversation. Give us a call. 424-272-6365.
Equality Radio.
Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Are you as excited, maybe even nervous as we are about the upcoming decisions that will be handed down by the Supreme Court of the United States later this month? Hello, I'm Randall White, host of Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. In anticipation of what will surely be a historic day, the staff here at Equality Radio is hard at work, putting together expert guests, background information, and legal analysis for a solid day of live coverage. We are greatly expanding our show that day to fit the occasion. We want to be sure you have a forum to express your thoughts as history unfolds around us. There may be no greater moment in LGBT history than what's about to happen. And Equality Radio on Q Talk America will be here so we can all share it together. Tell your friends, family, and LGBT allies Q Talk America is the place to be when SCOTUS makes its decision known. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Randall White Radio Hour on Q Talk America. We're now in a local station commercial break, and we'll return to our conversation in just a moment. This break does give us an opportunity, however, to screen your calls as well, so give us a ring right now to share your thoughts on the topic at hand. Our number, 4242 Randall. But make sure you spell Randall correctly. My name is spelled R-A-N-D-O-L. Or, here it is in strictly number form, area code 424-272-6365. That's 424-272-6365. This message will repeat just in case you didn't have time to jot it down. You're listening to the Randall White Radio Hour only on Q Talk America. We're now in a local station commercial break, and we'll return to our conversation in just a moment. This break gives us an opportunity, however, to screen your calls as well. So pick up the phone and give us a ring right now. Share your thoughts on the topic at hand. Our number is 4242 Randall. That's 4242 Randall, and make sure you spell Randall with an O-L at the end, 1-O, 1-L. Or here it is in strictly number form, area code 424-272-6365, 424-272-6365. This message will not repeat because the local commercial break is now over. Time once again to return to the show. Thank you for your patience.
You're listening to
Randall White on Q Talk America. Equality Radio.
19 minutes past the hour here on Equality Radio, heard exclusively on Q Talk America. Hey, if you haven't been to the Q Talk America site, you got to check it out. It is fantastic because they have the chat room and you can watch our video simulcast as well. I know many of you listen via the app, TuneIn, and also Stitcher Radio. But people have told me that they listen on TuneIn, so I highly recommend you head over to the QTalkAmerica.com website to check out everything that's available there. Long list of shows that are made specifically for Q Talk. It's just it's a wonderful thing that Joe Duganzik has put together. Okay, so at 20 minutes past the hour, it is time for us to talk about growing up LGBT in America, a survey done by the Human Rights Campaign, HRC, and specifically, we will be talking about doing so as a Latino, or a Latina, as the case may be. And that study, done in conjunction with the League of United Latin American Citizens. LULAC is the organization's acronym. They happen to be, at this very moment, having their annual convention in Las Vegas, which is a very large event. So we're happy to be able to pull David Perez away. He hasn't called in yet, though, so maybe we're not pulling him away. I don't know. But there are a lot of interesting aspects to this survey that is showing, well, for instance, The most difficult problems facing LGBT Latino youth are related to negative responses to their LGBT identity. Concern about family acceptance is the top problem identified, and having their families accept and support them is a key change they wish for their lives. I can only speak to it based on what I have seen in and among the Latinos in my life. And I can tell you in one case, a gentleman that we rented a room out, my husband and I rented a room to a Latino guy who, he's just about my age, in his mid-40s, and has never come out of the closet to his family. And it really affects his life in a big way. And as we've mentioned on this show from time to time, almost daily, coming out is such a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal for the person that has to do it. It's not easy. You have to think about the ramifications, and sometimes you can get bogged down in that instead of just deciding to live your authentic self. But the other side of that is coming out isn't just something you do for yourself. It's something you do for the greater community as a whole. Because we have seen in study after study, the more people that come out, the more people that get to know you, that become straight allies. Senator Susan Murkowski is a perfect example of this. The U.S. Senator from Alaska who came out, well, let me rephrase that, who announced today on her U.S. Senate website that she is now one of 3 Republican senators in favor of same-sex marriage, in part because she met a lesbian couple, an out lesbian couple who told the senator their problems that they're having because they're second-class citizens. That is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. So because of this perceived problem within the, and it is a problem, I shouldn't call it just a perceived problem, within the Latino community when it comes to family acceptance, that keeps a greater number of young Latinos from coming out. And then that just snowballs because when fewer of them come out, fewer family members and fewer people in the community as a whole then know somebody who can let them know that, we're not all strange people. So, we're just as strange as everybody else, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. All right, let me see if I can go down. We still haven't heard from David, so let me see if I can find a couple of more facts here. According to this survey done by HRC and LULAC, like other LGBT youth, 9 in 10, so 90% of the LGBT Latino youth surveyed are out to their close friends. However, Latino LGBT youth are more likely than others to be out to their classmates at school and to their teachers. More likely. That's fantastic. Nearly 3/4 of LGBT Latino youth say their school is accepting of LGBT people, and more than 8 in 10 say their peers are accepting. Boy, those numbers are very encouraging. LGBT Latino youth are more likely to face harassment and violence in the community than their non-LGBT Latino peers, and much less likely to participate in a variety of community activities. And that goes to what I was talking about earlier. LGBT Latino youth are twice as likely as non-LGBT Latino youth to say they do not fit in their communities where they live. Twice as likely. 2/3 of these youth say they are more honest about who they are online, while about 1/3 of non-LGBT Latino youth say the same. So so 2/3, so 2 out of 3 compared to 1 out of 3, being more honest online than they are in just a regular setting. That's too bad. That's what we need to change. And how we change it, I'm not sure, other than for more people to come out and be who they are and break down those stereotypes and those sorts of things. I mean, what do you think? How do we change this? Give us a call, 4242 Randall or 424-272-6365. That's 424-272-6365. How do we change this? How do we change it so that Latino youth can feel more comfortable in their own communities, as opposed to non-LGBT youth who say they feel just fine in their own communities, whereas the LGBT Latino youth seem to be moving online. They can only form relationships that way. However, in school they seem to, feel pretty good. So faith is a big part of it, of course. Catholicism is very strong in Latino families. Second only to African Americans, Latinos are the most religiously observant population in the country, according to this study. Pew Research shows more than 70% of Latinos attended religious services regularly, and the number is significantly higher for those who are foreign-born. Faith is deeply embedded in Latino lives in the communal practice of worship, the devotional life of individuals, and the values that inform family experience. For this reason, the Human Rights Campaign Religion and Faith Program has partnered with Fenton and Goodwin-Simon Strategic Research to conduct in-depth focus group research designed to solve many of those problems. Because being religious, being of faith, does not mean that you have to turn your back on. In fact, quite the opposite. You should be opening your arms to your LGBT brothers, sisters, friends, family members, coworkers, on down the list. It's a misreading of the scripture is what it is. 3:28 the time right now. You're listening to Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to speak with David Perez, but we'll have him back on in the future to talk about those topics. Coming up right after the break here at the bottom of the hour, we will be revisiting GREG Hernandez of GREG in Hollywood to talk about the latest scandals taking place in Tinseltown. You're listening to Equality Radio. I'm your host, Randall White, and we're back in just a moment. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Are you as excited, maybe even nervous as we are about the upcoming decisions that will be handed down by the Supreme Court of the United States later this month? Hello, I'm Randall White, host of Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. In anticipation of what will surely be a historic day, the staff here at Equality Radio is hard at work, putting together expert guests, background information, and legal analysis for a solid day of live coverage. We are greatly expanding our our show that day to fit the occasion. We want to be sure you have a forum to express your thoughts as history unfolds around us. There may be no greater moment in LGBT history than what's about to happen. And Equality Radio on Q Talk America will be here so we can all share it together. Tell your friends, family, and LGBT allies Q Talk America is the place to be when SCOTUS makes its decision known. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Randall White Radio Hour on Q Talk America. We're now in a local station commercial break, and we'll return to our conversation in just a moment. This break does give us an opportunity, however, to screen your calls as well, so give us a ring right now to share your thoughts on the topic at hand. Our number, 4242 Randall. But make sure you spell Randall correctly. My name is spelled R-A-N-D-O-L. Or, here it is in strictly number form, area code 424-272-6365. That's 424-272-6365. This message will repeat just in case you didn't have time to jot it down. You're listening to the Randall White Radio Hour only on Q Talk America. We're now in a local station commercial break and we'll return to our conversation in just a moment. This break gives us an opportunity, however, to screen your calls as well. So pick up the phone and give us a ring right now. Share your thoughts on the topic at hand. Our number is 4242 Randall. That's 4242 Randall, and make sure you spell Randall with an O-L at the end, 1-O, 1-L. Or here it is in strictly number form, area code 424-272-6365, 424-272-6365. This message will not repeat because the local commercial break is now over. Time once again to return to the show. Thank you for your patience.
You're listening to Equality Radio.
Equality Radio.
Fabulous.
Now, here's your host, Randall White.
Randall White on Q Talk America.
4242 Randall, that is the number to call if you'd like to chat a bit here on Equality Radio. It is 33 minutes past the hour right now. And time for our Greg in Hollywood segment. It's the segment I look forward to each and every week at this time to get the the dirt on what's happening in Hollywood. Greg Hernandez joins us on the phone right now to fill in the gaps for us. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Randall. I heard you say you wanted a scandal.
I wanted a scandala. I don't even know if that's a word.
Can you hear me okay? I'm trying this out on the patio in my backyard in Silver Lake, and I want to make sure that you can hear me okay. I
can, as a matter of fact. You sound just fine. Is it like a wireless phone?
Yes, so I didn't know how it would go, but here we are. Yeah,
no, it sounds really good. For some reason, on the video side of things, I'm getting a bunch of question marks. And I think I know why. I moved a file on my computer that contained a lot of photos, one of them being your face.
Yeah, last week you forgot my face as well. I think this is starting to be a trend, a pattern.
Why did I do that just before the show? That was so lame of me. But here's the deal. While you're talking about the first scandal, I'll be able to fix everything. So that's how we'll work it.
Let's hope so. Okay.
So let's talk Chandler Massey, and it has something to do with a kiss.
A kiss, huh?
No.
Well,
oh, that's the picture I have of him kissing.
It's okay. I was going to work with you, Ray. I was going to just lead you right to where we need to go. Chandler Massey, of course, is the young 22-year-old actor who plays Will Horton on NBC's Days of Our Lives. He's a gay teen who has a pretty complicated life. The character of Will is a gay he just came out to his grandparents and the whole town, and then he finally had his first boyfriend, but he got his ex-girlfriend pregnant, and just this one little night of, lapsed judgment and lapsed gayness.
Right.
And anyway, so it's been a great storyline for this actor, Chandler Massey, who on Sunday won his second consecutive Emmy Award for outstanding performance by a younger actor in a daytime series.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, it was great. He's such a good actor. You can tell he's one of the best on the show, actually. Mm-hmm. And I was able to talk to him. What's today? Today's Wednesday. I talked to him on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to the Emmys, but he was nice enough to give me a call, and so we talked. And he's just really, I think, done a really great job of playing all the different emotions of coming out, of accepting yourself, coming out to yourself, coming out to others. And it's been a couple of years that the storyline has been playing out. And it just keeps hitting new highs, and you keep thinking, okay, is this too good to be true? Because the soaps don't have a good history of doing their gay storyline.
Yeah.
In recent years. Yeah.
And Greg,
finally,
this is exactly what I was just talking about in the last segment and at the top of the show as well. For some people, sad as it may be, the soap opera is the only chance they get to, I guess not interact, but have some exposure anyway to LGBT people. And so I'm really happy to hear that they are treating this the right way and really giving people all those different nuances, like you said, the coming out, the finding a boyfriend, all that sort of thing.
Yes, and to have and to really have the emotion. Really you can see that it's the same as any of the straight characters. Actually, the physical interaction has been ratcheted up to what anything I've seen between a gay couple actually seems real. The actors are really, have great chemistry, and so, it's all very believable. And here it is, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on NBC every weekday. So, and they haven't been scared off by advertisers, nothing. It's been a couple of years now, so I'm very excited about it. But Chandler wants to leave the show at the end of December when his contract runs out.
He told you that on the phone?
Yeah. He did. He kind of gave that to me exclusively. He plans to go back to UCLA. He only completed, I think, a quarter or two when he landed the soap role. And it's very, his dad was the Secretary of State in Georgia, and so education's important. I think he wants to do it while he's still kind of young. He says he's going to actually ride his scooter around with a backpack, do the whole thing and try and have a college life. So
good for him.
Good for him.
I think that's fantastic. All right, I've always been a big fan of Greg Louganis, and I love seeing him show up on little cameos and such nowadays. But he has a man in his life, and they're going to make it the real deal.
I'm so happy for Greg. So happy. I watched him at the Olympics and thought, is he gay? And then, of course,
he
came out. Yeah, and then, of course, he came out, and I read his book, and I cried because the mid-'90s, and I was going through all my own coming out. Well, then I've met him, a bunch of times in the last, 5 years, and it's been great. But his fiancée, I was at an event, and this guy was sitting next to me, and I thought, oh, here's a handsome guy. Maybe he's single. And I said, what brings you here? And he says he's a fan of my blogs. He wanted to say hi. I was like, oh, well, thank you. I thought, boy, I'm really going to probably get a date,
Yeah.
And he says, well, I'm here to watch my boyfriend. He's in the show. I was like, oh, really? Who's that? He's Greg Louganis.
Oh.
Thought I'd share that little.
So much
near miss
for that. Yeah. But so
great for Greg.
So they're going to tie the knot. Any details on when and where and all that sort of thing? No,
Greg lives here. They live here in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
And they said September, so maybe they're just planning and assuming that Prop 8 will be struck down and that gay couples can start getting married in California. They might be assuming that, or maybe they'll go to another state. I don't think they have another house anywhere, but they say they're getting married, and thrilled for them. Greg had written in his book about previous relationships, one with a lot of domestic abuse, and so he really took it for a long time, kind of had this low self-esteem thing, and so you're really happy for him that he's found this happiness, and they do seem really happy and well suited. So
I'm so happy to hear that. Do you ever watch Portlandia, the show Portlandia?
No.
It's hysterical, Greg. When you're finished with me here today, you go right into your Netflix or your Roku or whatever you do, and download it and watch it. It is really funny. And there is a cameo with Greg Louganis on there's like an Olympic episode where at first everyone in Portland doesn't want the Olympics to come there. And the guy from the Olympic committee doesn't even know where Portland is, which is really funny. And then Greg Louganis explains to them why it is so important for the city to get the Olympics and everything. And I just love seeing him on things like that. I'm glad to hear he's just as nice in person too, as we've discussed in the past with different stars. You never know what you're going to get.
He's very well spoken, and he still looks terrific. He's a real silver fox now.
Yeah,
and he's really speaking out a lot of to kids about HIV, and really just say, hey, look, I'm positive, and yes, I'm still alive, but I wouldn't wish my regimen of all the pills I have to take every day on anyone. Mm-hmm. And so I've had some interviews with him about this, and he's really getting the word out there and trying to warn kids to not be complacent and to really protect, their HIV negative status.
That's awesome.
So, anyway,
very happy to hear that. All right, let's talk about Cher. We love Cher, right? And she's on the Voice.
She was on The Voice, the season finale of The Voice last night, and I love because Cher goes away for years, and doesn't do anything, and then suddenly she's everywhere again. And last night she came out in this ridiculous wig. I mean, it looked like 5 different wigs piled on her hair. It was really, I thought it was horrendous, but then I thought, of course she's doing this. This is like when she wore the headdress at the Academy Awards in '86. Everyone's still talking about it today. So she's always calculated. It's always calculated. And she's having a lot of fun. So there she was last night singing her new single, Woman's World, on The Voice. And it kind of had that auto-tune-ness that was from Believe.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, when I first heard Believe, I thought, what the heck is this? And I didn't really like it, but then I ended up singing it an entire summer, or whatever it came out. And so maybe this will be the same thing. Maybe it'll be catchy.
I already have Believe in my head now that you mentioned it, and it will be with me the rest of the day. You're right. She really brought, before all the other people were doing auto-tune, Cher was one of the first, if not the first, with that. And so if it's all auto-tuned, was she doing it live or was she lip-syncing?
I'm not sure. It looked like it was kind of one of those hard to tell, kind of thing. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't researched it enough. I did watch the YouTube video, and it's on my website a couple of times. So you guys can watch it and think, see what you think on whether she's live or lip syncing or whatever. But I just think it's just. I just was watching her, just going, 67 years old. We're still talking about her. She's still got new music coming out. Yeah. And she was telling Huffington Post after the show last night that her longevity is due to luck, more than talent. And I just thought, I don't know. I think there's got to be some talent in there.
I think there's got to be some talent in there, too. Her mom's still alive, I think, isn't she?
She's alive and still looks terrific.
I thought, wow, if she's Cher's mom, how old was she when she had Cher? 44 minutes past the hour right now. Greg, you mentioned your site, greginhollywood.com. It's a must-have site. You just have to have it bookmarked and go to it every single day. Greg, we're back in just a moment with more.
Equality Radio.
Join the conversation. Give us a call. 424-272-6365.
Equality Radio.
When we return, we will be talking Neil Patrick Harris. We can't have a Greg in Hollywood segment without talking Neil Patrick Harris at least once, right? That and much more just after the break. You're listening to Equality Radio. I'm your host, Randall White. Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Are you as excited, maybe even nervous as we are about the upcoming decisions that will be handed down by the Supreme Court of the United States later this month? Hello, I'm Randall White, host of Equality Radio here on Q Talk America. In anticipation of what will surely be a historic day, the staff here at Equality Radio is hard at work, putting together expert guests, background information, and legal analysis for a solid day of live coverage. We are greatly expanding our show that day to fit the occasion. We want to be sure you have a forum to express your thoughts as history unfolds around us. There may be no greater moment in LGBT history than what's about to happen. And Equality Radio on Q Talk America will be here so we can all share it together. Tell your friends, family, and LGBT allies Q Talk America is the place to be when SCOTUS makes its decision known. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Randall White Radio Hour on Q Talk America. We're now in a local station commercial break, and we'll return to our conversation in just a moment. This break does give us an opportunity, however, to screen your calls as well, so give us a ring right now to share your thoughts on the topic at hand. Our number, 4242 Randall. But make sure you spell Randall correctly. My name is spelled R-A-N-D-O-L. Or, here it is in strictly number form, area code 424-272-6365. That's 424-272-6365. This message will repeat just in case you didn't have time to jot it down. You're listening to the Randall White Radio Hour only on Q Talk America. We're now in a local station commercial break, and we'll return to our conversation in just a moment. This break gives us an opportunity, however, to screen your calls as well. So pick up the phone and give us a ring right now. Share your thoughts on the topic at hand. Our number is 4242 Randall. That's 4242 Randall, and make sure you spell Randall with an O-L at the end, 1-O, 1-L. Or here it is in strictly number form, area code 424-272-6365, 424-272-6365. This message will not repeat because the local commercial break is now over. Time once again to return to the show. Thank you for your patience.
You're listening to
Randall White on Q Talk America. Equality Radio.
49 minutes past the hour here on Equality Radio. I am your host, Randall White, and we are joined, as we are every Wednesday at this time, with GREG HERNANDEZ. You may know him as Greg in Hollywood. His very popular blog, greginhollywood.com, has all sorts of LGBT dish that you can find for celebrities and that sort of thing. He's live on the line right now. He happens to be sunning himself on the veranda, I believe, at his apartment there in Silver Lake. Hey, Greg.
Hey, I wish we could call it a lanai, like on the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is between a veranda and a lanai.
Or a balcony or a patio.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you
But
is there ground underneath you, or is it air underneath you?
I'm on a patio, and then it's right next to a staircase that goes sort of down. It's a big backyard. So anyway, I think it's more of a balcony, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's very nice.
It's very, very nice.
Nobody cares. Let's move on.
Right, we'll just move on. But some people may care. If you're going to visit Los Angeles, make sure you visit the Silver Lake area, because it is a whole, like, branch out from beyond the West Hollywood and check out Silver Lake. LA is one of those few cities that have more than one gay neighborhood. And
absolutely,
I love Silver Lake. All right,
and I make it all the more gay, I tell you.
You're doing your best to keep it as LGBT as possible.
That's right.
All right, let's talk Neil Patrick Harris. What's the latest news for this multi-talented gentleman?
I always wonder what must it be like to be Neil Patrick Harris, other than, you have cutie pie David Burtka next to you every day. But you wake up in the morning in a professional sense, think, what new brilliant thing is going to come my way, now. And so Neil had, on Monday, it was announced that he's going back to Broadway. He's going to be in Hedwig and Angry Inch, the revival.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time it's been on the Broadway stage, though. And that's going to happen in 2014. He's going to play a transgender or rock singer or something. I haven't seen the movie.
I don't know, nor have I.
Yeah, but what's great about Neil is, he's done this How I Met Your Mother show. It's going to start its 10th and final season in the fall. And it's probably been a cash cow for him, probably set him up for life.
Oh, yeah.
And yet you sense, because he's so talented and so many other opportunities to come his way, hosting the Tonys, the Emmys, so many other things, movies, that it sort of was holding him back a little bit, that you want to see him doing some other things instead of playing this same role for 10 years, just kept going and going. And so one of the things that you really wanted to see was him go back to Broadway. And I think what people don't realize is after he did Doogie Howser, which was the ABC comedy that really,
launched him,
made him a star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he was a teenager. After those years, in his 20s, he was on Broadway. He was in Assassins. He was in Cabaret. He was in Proof, the play Proof. He was in the national tour of Rent. He was doing concert versions of Sweeney Todd with Patti LuPone. He's got real bona fide Broadway chops, which is why he's such a success on the Tony Awards.
Yeah.
So I love that he's going to go back to Broadway and start to do all these great things and really show his multiple talent. I'm very excited about it.
He's one of those child stars that not only survived but thrived.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I think I always say about that, he's actually talented.
Yeah.
And the whole child star thing, a lot of times, you might have been a cute kid, but maybe you didn't do your training. Maybe you just weren't talented. There's a lot of reasons why they didn't, transition to adulthood. And Neil's one of those people who always had a really good work ethic and had a good attitude about it, and he's really talented. Mm-hmm. And so that really helps. Yeah.
Last segment, we were talking about Greg Louganis, and you termed him a silver fox.
Yeah.
Who has been a silver fox for many years is Anderson Cooper. I remember watching him on, there's an overnight ABC news program called World News Now. For anyone that doesn't, I was a morning anchor, so I had to get up at, I can't even remember, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And as I was getting ready, I would tune into ABC. They have a live program called World News Now, and Anderson Cooper was the anchor on that. This would have been 1997, 1998. And I remember thinking, that guy's hot. He's really cute, and he's got gray hair, but just beautiful skin, and just look at that face. And so I sent him an email at one point and said, I'm going to be in New York, and I would love to come visit you, just to see what it's, because I love the show and all this sort of thing, but I work for an NBC affiliate, and I don't know how that works. And nobody ever got back to me. It was a total womp womp, but it didn't. I was
waiting for this other part of the anecdote.
No, I know. Sorry.
I went and saw some shows.
My whole thing is I'm just going to pretend that he never saw the email. It went into somebody's junk file otherwise, because he would have responded otherwise. But anyway, enough of that. Anderson Cooper will now be do I understand this right, a comic book hero?
He is a comic book hero. It came out today.
Oh, really? Today? Uh-huh.
Yes. It's you know what? Since I'm on the patio, I'm not in front of my computer.
Oh, I can tell you. What do you need to know? I'm looking at it.
Well, I'm trying to remember who putting it out, but it's a series of like biographical comic books of noteworthy people, and this one is all about Anderson. It tells all about his life. Illustrates and tells his life from being the son of Gloria Vanderbilt,
right?
Being raised with a silver spoon in his mouth, which is what it says in the description. I didn't say that, and how he sort of forged his own path, and became a journalist, and so it really tells his story, and then it sort of ends it from journalist to out and proud gay icon, which is great because as of last August we wouldn't be able to say that, but now that he's out, we can, and that's what's so great about having people like him actually come out, even though everybody knew. It's not a surprise. Right. Blah, blah, blah. It's always great when they actually own it and say it themselves. To me, that's when they come out. I have to put up with those comments all the time. I already knew. It's no surprise.
Right.
It drives me crazy.
I remember telling my parents several years ago, I said, no, I said, Anderson Cooper's gay. They're like, he's not gay. I said, no, yeah, I said, yeah, he is. I think he belonged to the National Lesbian Gay Journalists Association at one point. Then he dropped out. I'm not sure. He's probably back with it now. But is he back with it now?
When yes, he is.
Yeah.
But sometimes, when somebody gets more famous, even if they used to be out, they suddenly become very vague.
Right.
Yeah. They just don't discuss it, and then we're finding that they have their moments and then they come out again. And
that's what happened with Anderson, I think. Anyway, that's my guess. The latest issue, it's called Political Power. It's published by Blue Water Productions, and it's now on sale via iTunes and Comic Flea Market. It's written by Michael Troy. There's all the information, Greg.
Thank you, Randall.
You're welcome. Greg Hernandez, Greg in Hollywood is the blog. We love him. And Greg, we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
You've been listening to
Equality Radio.
Connect with us online at equalityradio.net.
Equality Radio.
There's a chance the Supreme Court of the United States will make their rulings known tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 on the West Coast. We're talking DOMA and Prop 8. If it happens, we'll have an expanded show, 4 hours long tomorrow. Make it a great day, everyone.